In this video, we're going to take a few minutes to set up or show you how to set up your USB drive for CIS 150 Logic class. So the first thing we want to do is open up File Explorer and locate your devices, your external devices on the computer. And mine is called Removable Disk G. Yours might be something else, might be Cruiser E. Just depends on how many devices you have hooked up. Now I've double clicked on it, and if you notice over here, this folder is empty because there's nothing on this device. You can consider it new. But before we go any further, I want to come over here and notice we have new folder, share with, and organize buttons at the top. I want you to click on this drop down list under the organize button. Click on folder and search options, and then I want you to click on the view tab and notice these two radio buttons right here. There are two check boxes below that. The second check box below these two radio buttons where it says hide extensions for known file types, that needs to be unchecked. If it's not unchecked already, uncheck it. And then click apply to folders, and yes, and okay. And what that will enable us to do is see the file extensions, which you're going to need to see. All right, now make sure you have your movable disk selected. We want to create three folders under, or one folder under that and three under the outermost folder. So we're going to create a folder called CIS 150. Now hopefully you've had all this file manipulations in 146. If you haven't, you're going to need to get up to speed because this is expected of you. It's not difficult. It's something you should already know before you get into the logic class. Even if you're taking 146 at the same time, you're just going to have to buck up and learn it. All right, so there's our 150 directory. I want you to drill down inside of that. Notice your nav bar here shows you're on your removable disk, and there's CIS 150. We want to create three directories under the CIS 150 folder. All right. The first one we'll call in-class labs. That's where our in-class labs are going to go. The next one we'll call deliverable projects. Oops, got an email. Let me finish this. Projects. That's the ones you'll be working on your own. And I need another one called Visual Logic. This is where your program and your support files will be located. All right. Okay. So now that we've done that, we can minimize File Explorer, and let's go ahead and pull up Blackboard. If you don't, hopefully you've plugged in your jump drive before we did all that. Otherwise, you'll have to stop, rewind the video, and do it again. Let's drill down into our course, CIS 150, and eventually it'll show up. Let's go to content, and there's another video showing you how to navigate Blackboard if you're not used to it, so that's okay. You can go look at it. Hopefully you've looked at it already. We want to go to required software because when you go there, you'll see there's a download link for Visual Logic, and that's what we want to do. So I'm going to click on that, launches in another window. And you can right click and save it, save target as, depending on what kind of browser you got. That's probably the best thing to do. Find your device, drill down into CIS 150, go into Visual Logic, and that's where this executable file will be stored. Notice the .exe. Now keep this in mind. Most applications that are installed on your computer or here at school or at home are installed with a setup routine that actually registers that application in the operating system registry, which means that if I have a Word document located, I can just double click on it or right click and open. It will find the application like Word associated with it, open it up with that document displaying. The reason it can do that is because there's a registry entry for it. Visual Logic's not installed, so it's not going to do it, and it won't work if you try to point it that way. So you'll always have to go into Visual Logic and then open your VSIG file from there, or your VS file. All right, so we want to save that, and it's downloading, hopefully. They run a security scan. Excuse me. All right, so there's my folder. There's my exe. Now, the next step is to register this so that they will email you a VL signature file, which is a lock file. You can download and run this exe, but it will not allow you to save your work. So you're basically paying for that PIN code. And if you'll notice with your book, there's a little folder when you open it, says Visual Logic. When you open it up, there's a little slip of paper in there that's got this PIN code in it. All right, so let's minimize this, and it also gives you the URLs. But once you've downloaded it, you want to just type course, and that'll take you to the registration page. All right. Now, if you lose your PIN code, you can always get another one. But this is going to automatically email it to you as an attachment with your email. Do not use the school email because 9 times out of 10 it's full. You're going to need a working email address like Google, Yahoo, Gmail, something of that effect. And you'll probably, the best thing to do is have it where you can do web interface with it, which Google and all those you can, because you might need to access it at school. So here's your PIN code. You fill out all this information. This is just a make-up question for security, like what was my first cat's name, and you put Spot or whatever, so that if you lose that VLSIG file, they'll send you another one just by answering that question. So there's your PIN code. It's on the piece of paper. There's your name however you want it, and that file will have your name on it. And you need to give it a valid email address so that you can get to it, for one thing. And once you do, you'll get an email from them and all this stuff. You need to put all that in there. Then you can download that into your Visual Logic file where we put the exe, which is where it needs to go. So I don't have a code. I've already done all this, so I'm going to assume you filled it out and submitted it. And with a few minutes, you'll be able to go and open up your email and then download it into here. So I've already got one. Let me go and find a copy of mine. Yours will be coming in via email, but that's okay. I can just do mine this way. And let's see, there's my Visual Logic directory, and there is my VLSIG file. Yours will have your name on it, right? And so let's go into our 150. This is where you'll download it, right here. So your nav bar up here, removable disk, whatever yours is called, 150 Visual Logic. That VLSIG file needs to reside right here. So you're going to have an exe and a VLSIG file right here. You've got to do that first, okay? Now if we back up a directory, we'll notice we've got deliverable projects. Let's talk about that real quick. Every time we do an in-class lab, you'll need to come into in-class labs and create a folder for that lab number. So in-class lab 1 will be the first one we do. All right, and then we'll do in-class 2 and so forth. So you'll be doing a directory for each one of these. And there's a 3 and a 3A. So at the end of the course, you'll have a bunch of those in there. Same thing with the projects. The in-class labs we do together, those set you up to do the project. Do not miss class. If you do, you're not going to get a grade for it, but you can go look at the videos for it, at least get up to speed with that. For the project, same thing. I've got project 1 and so forth. Project 2, and you just do them as you go if you want, which might be a little bit better. So, there's my jump drive with all my stuff in it that I'm going to need with the correct structure that I'm going to need in order to do all the work.